I can't believe that it's already been a year since me and a couple of my closest friends were at a Pastor Aid's dinner table and just sitting there. It's just so crazy that we just started together small and really do this thing called starting a church with one another. It's been the most beautiful experience, not only for my life, but all of us together.
I just literally thought it was crazy what we were doing and the fact that it was in the middle of a pandemic. But I really did feel like I've been called to be a part of something big and something that's really going to make an impact. And I would have never thought it was going to be a church, or helping start a church. But being together with people in a table and talking about ideas and what we dreamed about this church looking like, and honestly, I feel it has really exceeded, our expectations of what it was going to be.
My first thought was, are we really going to be doing this? Never planted a church, and when it really hit was when we actually received our very first piece of our signage that said local church. And I think at that point, for me, it felt real.
My first day at local, I was, first stunned by the fact that there was parking.
And I remember the first thing was everybody eyeing us as we walked in. They're like, "Oh, look at him, look at her." And I was like, what's gonna happen? But everyone's just so friendly. And I just remember everyone just being like kind of surrounding you like, "Hey, how are you? Welcome to local. Can I help you find a seat?" And I just was like, "Whoa, this is like top-notch, like quality service."
Everyone was just super welcoming. I remember meeting Abe and Crystal and asking for our Instagrams, even though my husband didn't have an Instagram, so they exchanged numbers, and so it felt really organic.
Came to the front doors and I saw Tati and I saw Marilyn, and they just swarmed me, but in the most loving way possible, which is something I hadn't really received from other churches that I maybe had tried out in the area. And each person that came in, they were so personable and they were so loving and comforting, and it immediately made it feel like a home. I didn't know these people, and it was the first time I've ever met someone that I didn't know, where I felt like I've already met them and that I was in their family, basically.
How I felt was found. That would probably be the best word I could use. I had been away from church for a while, and I couldn't really tell you why. I guess I just wasn't prioritizing the right things, but something about the church, the pastor, the community there, it just made me feel like I was missing something, and I wanted to grow a part of that. So that's why I continued to grow, and I grew through the relationships, the character of myself, how I viewed myself, how I viewed church, how I viewed people, how I viewed God. Everything changed, and when I look at what was the beacon of all that, it was local church.
One of my favorite memories had to be one of the first or second baptism that we ever did.
I just remember seeing everybody and just really thinking man, this is why we are doing it, for all these souls to be saved and to see them really express their love to God in public.
And just seeing the faces as soon as they came out of the water just became I was just taken back.
Just how cool it was to see volunteers and leaders being appreciated. I thought that was really cool, and I had never seen that before. I remember texting my friends like a picture of we're at some sort of Dundee Awards. Everyone's being celebrated. This is really cool. And we had just joined, so it felt like we were already belonging before we even knew anybody. So that was really cool.
Well, I always say my church is not like any other church that you've ever been to. That's the first thing I always say.
A lot of people are in search for a place that they can call home, and most of us have taken that journey wanting to find that perfect church. There's not a perfect church, there's just a church for you, and local is that place. We made a space where you can come in and completely just lose yourself and be who you truly are. And that's what local is.
I see more chairs being filled. I see more people waking up to a relationship with God. I see more people, especially after the pandemic and all the crazy things that are happening in our world, I see them finally realizing that there is a place that they can turn to that will accept them and will love them and will create what a lot of people lost during the last 2 years, which was community.
I believe God is definitely moving, not just in the church, but outside the church. And I believe that Local is gonna blow up and really have not just an impact in downtown, but in Southern California.
I see us definitely outgrowing where we're at, but I see us being a source of hope in the community of San Diego, a safe place for people to come that are hurting or that need community, and just a place where people can raise their families in.
I see myself getting a lot more involved in Local, honestly. I think Local needs more leaders, more people to step into the role that they're already probably predestined to be a part of, but no one has seen that in them besides Local. So I see a community of people coming together and building upon something that isn't just for the people inside, but is for everyone else that we encounter the other 6 days of the week outside of the church.
There's a scripture that says, expand your tent. And I feel like that's what Local is going to go through in the next couple of years, where they're going to need to expand the size because of how many people are going to be reached, how many more lives are going to be changed, and how much more of an impact we're going to see in our city.
We can do a lot. And together as Local, I believe that whatever that looks like, if it's God, then it's going to happen.
I see a lot. I feel like I can't even really describe it. I think I just see a community of believers, of people who love God and love people, really impacting this city of San Diego. And not just San Diego. I really believe that this church is going to really mark a lot of people's lives all over the world.